Why did roughly 90% of Chinooks survive Vietnam, while helicopters like the Huey lost nearly half of their entire fleet? In a war where more than 5,000 American helicopters were destroyed or damaged beyond repair, the CH-47 Chinook stood out as the giant that simply refused to fall. It carried armies, heavy artillery, vital supplies, and even troops in desperate retreat, completing critical missions day after day and returning to base most of the time. While Hueys became easy targets in hot landing zones, the Chinook proved to be the most reliable, robust, and successful helicopter of the Vietnam War. Welcome to the Military Aerial Archive. Today you will discover exactly what made it so resilient, so lethal in its role, and why it changed the way the United States fought in the jungle. It all began in 1965. The 1st Air Cavalry Division, Airmobile, the famous First Team, brought the first Chinooks into real combat. They were not fast assault helicopters like the UH-1 Huey. They were beasts of burden, designed to do what no one else could. With two massive tandem rotors, one in front, one in back, the Chinook had incredible stability even when loaded to the limit. It lifted more than 10 tons. 105mm howitzers, jeeps, ammunition trailers, boxes of sea rations, fuel in giant bladders, or up to 33 fully equipped soldiers. In terrain where roads became mine traps and Viet Cong ambushes, the Chinook flew straight into the heart of the jungle, landed in tiny clearings or on steep mountainsides, unloaded everything, and took off before the enemy could react in force. The secret to its survival lay in brutally practical engineering. Two Lycoming T-55 engines producing 3,750 horsepower each provided full redundancy. If one failed or was hit, the other kept the helicopter airborne, something impossible for a single-engine Huey. A duplicated hydraulic system, rugged mechanical controls, and light armor in critical areas protected the pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer. Veteran pilots reported that the Chinook could absorb bullet holes that would bring down any other aircraft, damaged rotors, punctured transmissions, riddled tail sections. One famous account from a 1st Cavalry pilot describes returning from a mission with 47 AK-47 bullet holes and a nearly destroyed rear rotor. The tandem system maintained balance, and they landed safely. The sound was unmistakable, a deep, rhythmic whoomp, whoomp, whoomp of synchronized rotors, mixed with the roar of turbines echoing through the mountains like distant thunder. Inside the open cabin, the heavy smell of hot JP-4 fuel, burnt hydraulic oil, sweat, and gunpowder filled the air. Rotor wash hit like a hurricane, and the ground shook when it landed fully loaded. But the Chinook was not just a transport. It evolved into roles no one expected. Experimental versions like the ACH-47A Guns A Go-Go turned the giant into a flying fortress. M134 miniguns spewing 6,000 rounds per minute, 50 caliber machine guns, 2.75-inch rocket launchers, and even 20mm automatic cannons. In Vietnam tests, these monsters destroyed enemy positions with terrifying precision, suppressing anti-aircraft fire and covering troop insertions. Soldiers on the ground nicknamed it the Happy Hooker because it would pick up anything and haul it away or destroy it first. Although the Guns A Go-Go program was canceled in favor of the more agile AH-1 Cobra, it proved the concept. The Chinook could be both beast of burden and predator. The toughest missions pushed this resilience to the limit. In operations such as the 1st Cavalry's actions in the Ia Drang Valley in 1965, Chinooks delivered heavy artillery directly to isolated fire bases, flying under AK and .51 caliber fire. They returned with perforated fuselages but rarely went down. During the Tet Offensive in 1968, Chinooks evacuated mass casualties from Saigon and Hue, carrying dozens of soldiers under impossible conditions. During the Cambodian invasion in 1970, and especially Operation Lam Son 719 in 1971, the largest aerial disaster of the Vietnam War for helicopters, the Chinook took losses, but at a lower rate than Hueys and Cobras. While hundreds of smaller helicopters were shot down by Soviet-supplied anti-aircraft weapons and RPGs, the Chinook flew many logistics missions at higher altitudes, avoiding the hot LZs where others were destroyed in large numbers. In total, around 750 Chinooks operated in Vietnam, American and South Vietnamese. Confirmed losses are around 200, approximately 132 in direct combat, the rest due to accidents, mechanical overload, or treacherous terrain. That results in a survival rate of roughly 73 to 75%, far higher than the 50 to 60% survival rate of Hueys or the catastrophic losses during hot extractions. Why? Less direct exposure. Chinooks flew deep support missions, not frontline insertions like the Hueys. When they did enter combat, their mass and redundancy saved them. Crews described the terror of tracer rounds arcing upward, the dull thunk of bullets striking thick metal, the smell of leaking fuel, yet the tandem rotor system maintained control even with severe damage. Many returned looking like Swiss cheese, but the crew survived to fly again. By the end of the war, the Chinook emerged as a legend. It enabled airmobile doctrine on an unprecedented scale, moving entire battalions, sustaining isolated fire bases, rescuing the impossible. Without it, operations like those of the 1st Cavalry would have been unfeasible. Pilots and crews paid a heavy price: wounds, PTSD, lost friends. But the helicopter proved that brute strength and intelligent design could overcome the chaos of the Vietnamese jungle. While other helicopters fell in droves, the Chinook completed its mission and returned to tell the story. If this brutal history impressed you, comparisons with the Huey or the Chinook in Iraq and Afghanistan later on. Subscribe for more real, dense, and hard-hitting accounts of wars that shaped the world. Thank you for watching.